Listen up now. From Cape Town to Lagos, from Accra to Lilongwe, one Africa, one people. Hear me now. Hey. Who's afraid of Africa, man? Tell me what's the reason if you can. What did Africa do to you? Why you acting like you never knew? Oh, you eat the food, you love the beat, dance to the rhythm in the street. But when your neighbor come across the line, you treat him like he committing crime. Oh, tell me now, what's the fuss? Ain't we all riding on the same bus? Black or brown, east or west, human beings deserve respect. Oh, what you upset about? Tell me what you're talking about. Who you afraid of, man? Who you afraid of, man? Afrophobia, man. Running from your brother again. Afrophobia, man. Tell me when this madness gonna end. Oh, Africa calling your name, but you're busy playing a blame game. Oh, Afrophobia, man. Who you afraid of, man? Oh, Cyril got a brand new angle, trying to untie a complicated tangle. Talking about unity, talking about peace, saying all this hatred got to cease. Ghana watching from afar, Nigeria saying who we are, Malawi calling home their own, cause fear is spreading through the zone. No, vigilantes on the street at night, thinking somehow hate makes right. But every punch and every threat leaves another wound we won't forget. Oh, what happened to you, Ubuntu friend? Where does all this anger end? Who you afraid of, man? Who you afraid of, man? Afrophobia, man. Running from your brother again. Oh, Afrophobia, man. Tell me when this madness gonna end. Oh, Africa calling your name, but you're busy playing a blame game. Oh, Afrophobia, man. Oh, who you afraid of, man? Leave the Africans alone, man. Leave the Africans alone, man. Leave the Africans alone, man. Hold on. Leave the Africans alone, man. Leave the Africans alone. From Zimbabwe to Kenya, from Rwanda to Sierra Leone. No need for the fear, no need for the fight. The future gets brighter when we unite. One continent, one destiny. No room for hate, only humanity. Seems South Africa got a fever. Some people acting hard to believe ya. A scary thought in a rainbow land, turning away a helping hand. But the answer ain't division or politicians seeking revision. The answer lives in every heart, knowing we've been connected from the start. Oh, the borderlines were drawn one day, but they can't wash our roots away. The drum still beats the same old song, reminding us where we belong. Afrophobia, man. Running from your brother again. Afrophobia, man. Tell me when this madness gonna end. Oh, raise your hand if you understand. Africa's stronger when together we stand. Afrophobia, man. Who you afraid of, man? Afrophobia, man. But you're scared of, man. Afrophobia, man. Take a look and understand. One people, one love, one in Africa, every time. Yeah, man. Leave the Africans alone. Open your heart, open your mind. One Africa, every time. Every time.
Marvin Divine.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello, folks. Welcome back once again. Chris live in Central Pennsylvania for today, June 11th, 2026. Your daily injection, your inoculation, not indoctrination, against your inoculation against indoctrination. Hyperbole, nonsense. Apologies for the late start, but I was wrapping up my session with Dr. Dan Root, and I ran a little bit over after we went off air. So I appreciate all the patience for everyone who waited. We have a few programming announcements. Number one, I'm traveling tomorrow to Atlanta, Georgia, and then onwards to Greenville, South Carolina. There'll be 2 meet and greets, possibly a third mini meet and greet taking place in Monroe. So I'm just get this sorted out here. But the first meet and greet, if you happen to be in Georgia and you want to go to this event, it will be in Decatur tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you're welcome to join us there if you're so inclined. That's the address, 3893 Kensington Road. It's the Kenridge Apartments in Decatur, Georgia. 4 p.m. We'll go to at least 6. I plan on not leaving probably until 8 o'clock. I'll probably do some interviews on the sidelines after the meet and greet and answer people's questions as best I can. Looking forward to meeting a number of people there. And so hopefully things go well, and we'll see you tomorrow, assuming the traffic is reasonable and I make it there safely. So that's tomorrow at 4 p.m., Friday, June 12th, 2026. That's the first one. The next one here I want to cover is we've also got a meet and greet in Greenville, South Carolina. That one's on Saturday at 1 p.m. after we drive up from the Atlanta area. That's on Saturday, as I mentioned, and in Greenville. Here's the address for that one. That's at the Pelham Apartments on Pelham Road, 260 Pelham Apartments. Saturday the 13th at 1 p.m. in Greenville, South Carolina. As I said, based on a conversation I had last night, I'll probably have a little mini meet and greet in Monroe, Georgia, around 4 p.m. on the 13th. I mean, the 13th, the 15th, excuse me, the 15th. So that one. So 2 meet and greets scheduled for those who like to come out and say hello, and we'll chat and hopefully have some camaraderie there. All right, so that's that stuff. Again, thank you for your patience and waiting for me to get started with this broadcast. Just had a fascinating interview with Dan Root. I hope you enjoyed that if you watched it. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done already, and tell your friends. If everyone here gets 3 subscribers, imagine that. 3 more subscribers, we'd have 500,000 people watching this program. Wouldn't that be amazing? Is it going to be live? It is live. Apparently you're not paying attention. Refresh your page. Someone tell that person to refresh their page. It's live. It has been live now for 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Where is this guy at? Last Domino. Last Domino. Refresh. There you go. All right. So, is anybody else live, or is it just that one person? Am I chatting to myself to people in the past? Okay. Sorry, last time. You mean meet and greet? No, I don't know, because people may not want to be on screen. Some people don't want to be on screen because of safety concerns. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. See, that's the problem with chat. Yeah, so I don't know. I have to get there before I can do that. Gotcha. Okay, thanks. Well, I misunderstood. See, that's the problem with chat. You don't get all the information. Anyway, it is Thursday, June 11, 2026. Time for a little, protection against yellow journalism, misinformation, disinformation, outright nonsense. By the way, is anybody keeping up on the Mel Filionen story? I mean, it's starting to become entertaining for me. I mean, I don't watch the Housewives of Pretoria or Jersey Shore, any of that nonsense. But the Mel story is just becoming comical. She walked out on ENCA. She walked out on the NCA. They said that she claimed that the reporter was disingenuous, but how can you give an interview to someone in South Africa if you're Mel Filionen and not expect to answer questions about the allegations of shoplifting and grand larceny in Florida? All she wants to do is shit all over America. I'm sorry, sweetheart, but you are not going to crap all over us and lie to people about the refugee program. What does she know about the refugee program? We'll get to that. She is bonkers, man. Bonkers. I think you meant bonkers. It's crazy. I mean, it's unbelievable, man. Love the puppies. Love the puppies. Come on, man. Come on. Anyway, we're going to talk about Mel. Yes, we're going to talk about Mel in this stream because she's making the news. She's making the rounds. And Jacaranda FM lost all respect from me. I don't respect that organization anymore. And I don't know that I did respect it before, but I used to at least listen to Jacaranda FM. Makes me look professional. Like, okay, there you go. I like this. This kind of gives you like your eyes are fading back and forth. Anyway, so yeah. By the way, my XX large rugby jersey is made for a rugby player. It's a actual jersey and it's too tight. I couldn't put it on. It makes me look chubby. I should have got a XXX. And it says, fake as her hair, starring in America's got criminals. America's got criminals. Ready? Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys. Oh gosh. Aidez-moi. Make it stop. Bad boys. Tonight's edition of Bad Boys is from Fort Lauderdale. They came to America with a plan, claiming to expand their business, but fraudulently getting a tourist visa, not a business visa. They came here and are accused of stealing item after item over a 6-month period, totaling $5,300 to get over that threshold of grand larceny. Later, at the apartment complex, Pete was picked up by local law enforcement. An irony of all ironies, after spewing racial nonsense for months on end while being in America illegally, was apprehended by a black police officer. Bad boys. What you gonna do? I'm sorry. It's look, this is the funniest thing I've heard in ages, man. The stuff she says. I mean, okay, look, I know that's not the lead news story, but we've got to talk about it. It's too funny. I mean, unbelievable. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, this was my night. Yesterday was, of course, my busy Wednesday, right? Okay, so Wednesday, busy as always. And what happened Wednesday? Well, folks, I was swamped with all the things I usually do. Up in the morning researching. Then I did an interview yesterday. Or I did my news program yesterday. Then I did Ronaldo's show yesterday. Then I had several things to take care of. I thought I had to go to the Veterans Organization sign payroll checks, but someone else took care of it. Another officer, so I didn't have to go in. But then I had my radio program last night. After the radio program, I did Night Owls. After Night Owls, I uploaded that I edited that Honeybee Heroes video, uploaded that, and then I went to bed for 2 hours and didn't even sleep. I got about an hour and a half sleep. Got up so that at 4:30 I was live with the Bulls from Loftus doing the press conference with Johan Ackerman, doing that press conference. And then once the press conference was over, I was going to go to bed. But then I looked and it was news breaking, so I made a video. And then I saw this Mel Fionen thing, and I just had to make a video on that. Yeah, people haven't looked at the refugee program. That's why I make my video, because they'll believe her nonsense. She told Martin Bester, don't make any permanent decisions. Don't sell everything here. Experience another place as a resident, not as a tourist. The grass is not green on the other side. It's just another country with more people. That's just so disingenuous. It's comical. Experience it as a resident, not as a tourist. Well, refugees are not tourists. You are the tourist defrauding America with your fake asylum claim. Yeah, she added that she was in contact with several refugees who had arrived in the U.S. who had complained about feeling lonely and abandoned. No doubt, I've said Heimweh is going to be a problem, and it will hit you. It hits everybody at some point. She then said, it sounds like Donald Trump is helping us, but he really isn't. There's no one on the other side waiting for you with open arms to help you and guide you. That's actually not true. There are some people that have bad case officers, but most people are having a good experience. So, and then this is the one that took the cake. The authorities put the refugees in the most horrific destinations where there are no Starbucks. What? There's no Starbucks where they put the refugees? That is a crime against humanity. Somebody call the ICJ or the ICC. Hello, International Criminal Court. The Americans are putting South African refugees in places where there are no Starbucks. Can you believe that? First off, I don't know where she's talking about. There is a Starbucks everywhere you turn your head around. There's one in my supermarket. That's where I get my Frappuccinos at. There's another one 3 miles down the road. And then beyond that, there's another one in the supermarket a mile past that. And then there's one in the mall. There's no Starbucks? Oh, where is she at? Montana? Oh, what a tragedy. There's no Starbucks. Then she said, this shows stupid this woman is. They are ultimately hoping to get more farmers who can farm their land. What are you talking about? We don't need farmers. We have all the labor we need. We're not looking for farmers. All the farms are owned. You want to buy a farm? And also, the refugee program is not for farmers. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Ian. There are no Starbucks in ICE detention. Oh, that's got to be a new song, man. Where's my Starbucks in ICE? I'm missing Starbucks. She is making gold for me, man. Solid gold. It's like Marilyn McCoo. Solid gold. I'm missing Starbucks in ICE detention. That has got to be a new song. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. No, she's not boring, man. She's not boring. Do you think she actually believes any of this garbage? She claimed the U.S. is continuing to spread misinformation about South Africa to push its own agenda. This is just her simping because Pete's going to have to be sent back and face the music for his racist accusation. You watch. Once Pete Viljoen winds up back in South Africa, there'll be a captured South African Human Rights Commission lawsuit against him. Guarantee it. Yep. She said it's a strategy the Americans really well do is they create narratives. They're extremely divided. We're not divided. What are you talking about? This woman is just clueless. Anyway, so sorry that I took so much time about that. Take home Starbucks Road to the place that I forgot. Take me home, Starbucks Road. Almost heaven's Starbucks coffee. Boulevards leading to the next shop. Oh, we know she missed the nails and the Botox and her plastic, you know. Oh, my goodness. Look at those headlights. They're not real. They're not real. Anyway. All right. Let's get to the news, folks. I think we've had enough of that for now. But we'll get back to Mel Fillion in a little bit. Yeah, gold digger is definitely a good description anyway. Anyway. I mean, honestly, I thought that was a misquote, but apparently it's not a misquote. It's not a misquote, folks. The authorities put the refugees in the most horrific destinations where there are no Starbucks. Oh, my gosh. Oh, what a horror. Oh, horror. Oh, I'm sorry, Mel. This one's for you. This one's for you. We gotta play this one. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Oh my! You're killing me, man. You're killing me. There are no Starbucks. Come on, lady. Are you serious? Are you serious? She has to have been misquoted in that. I mean, she'll claim. I'm sure she'll claim she's misquoted. No doubt about that. Oh my goodness! What is that damn thing called? I can't remember it. I thought I had that here. Oh my goodness! This is the second time that's happened to me now. It's very embarrassing. Come on. Oh, come on. This computer is not playing nice. That's very annoying. What is this damn thing called? I wanted to play this before we got into the news since we were talking about Mel. I have to go to my library and look for it now. Unbelievable. What was it called? Oh, boy. Wow, has it been that long ago that we wrote this thing? Can't be that long ago. Hasn't been that long ago. There it is. Huh. This is the one. Oh, here, this one's from Al and Pete.
They touched down in the Sunshine State with a plan so grand, thinking they'd be the royalty of this palm tree land. They thought the glamour and glitz was theirs for the taking. Like a birthright claim, all the moves they were making. From the roar of a Ferrari to the red soul stride, of Christian Louboutin. They had nowhere to hide. Oh, the world figured out those schemes and those scams. Turned the power couple into quiet little lambs. No one wants them now, the party's gone dry. Underneath the hot and heavy Florida sky. Don't defraud America, the lesson is plain, or you find your lifestyle going down the drain. They went from fine dining and vintage champagne to a plastic tray and a heavy iron chain. It's a long fall from grace, a bitter old breeze. From high-end fashion to mac and cheese. Shoplifting doesn't pay, didn't they know? Now they're stars of a very different show. Poor old Pete is locked up in Alligator Alcatraz. Lost his designer suits and all of that jazz. And Mel's sitting tight, looking out through the wire at the Broward County Ice Facility. The situation is dire. Oh, you can take the huckster out of South Africa, it's true, but the scheming stays stuck to them like glue. Will he be convicted? Will he be deported? All their golden dreams have been well and truly thwarted. Time will tell the ending, but the moral is clear. Don't bring your rackets and your swindles round here. No, don't defraud America. Oh, yeah.
Tonight on Deported Housewives of Pretoria, listen to the heartbreaking story of Mel Filionen as she relates the tragedy of being in America without access to Starbucks. We go now live to Hatfield. Mel Filionen is our guest tonight on the Deported Housewives of Pretoria. Mel, was it really that bad? It was horrible. Horrible. No nails. No Botox. No Starbucks. It's a crime against humanity. But weren't you accused of shoplifting? That's not true. You're not doing your research. I'm out of here. Damn it. I'm not doing this interview. I'm sorry. I watched it at ENCA. It was too funny, but I can't play. It's their content. People actually believe the nonsense. They actually buy that stuff. Anyway. Linus got the lineman from Jesus is better. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, shall we get on to the news now? At least we had some entertainment here to get us started today. And who just gives up? Oh, my goodness. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the South African government is actively trying to disparage the countries that are repatriating the nationals. How? By reminding everybody that all of these people who left are undocumented. Yeah, okay. Well, they wouldn't be leaving if you had enforced your immigration laws and they never got there in the first place. And now that they're there, if you enforced your law and had the rule of law, they wouldn't be targets for vigilantes. But that's happening. So rather than disparage Ghana and Nigeria, perhaps the South African government ought to focus on disparaging its own criminal citizens in its midst. Just saying. Just a concept. None of the 268 Nigerians being repatriated are in South Africa legally, says Home Affairs. Well, that doesn't change the reality that they're being threatened by these thugs. The first group of 268 Nigerian nationals repatriated from OR Tambo are all in South Africa legally, says Home Affairs. The voluntary repatriation of the Nigerian nationals follows anti-immigrant group threats demanding undocumented foreigners leave by 30 June. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now seen over 1,000, thank you, Bonnie, donation for the Starbucks. Cool. Yeah, we'll take care of Mel. We'll get her Starbucks. We have now seen over 1,000 Ghanaians flee the country. We've previously seen Nigerians leave. Now 268 more Nigerians are leaving. 1,200 Malawians are waiting to flee. 1,000 have already fled. And we've had Zimbabweans also fleeing the country. This is not a good look for the Rainbow Nation, the Rainbow Nasi. It is not a good look. Not a good look. Not a good look. This is unfortunate. Listen, no one should be in the country illegally, but threatening people's lives, burning their homes, torturing them, threatening them, and this goes beyond illegals. They're also attacking legal immigrants and residents of South Africa who are foreigners, and they're threatening white South Africans, calling them colonizers and settlers, and saying that their time is coming on June 30th as well. This is a government on the verge, the precipice of civil collapse. This is the precipice of civil collapse. We are witnessing the meltdown of a country in real time. Will it stop? I don't know. The government doesn't have the resources to stop it, though. I'll tell you that much. Thank you, Suzanne, for the 10th Super Chat, 35 Rand. Appreciate that. All right, so that's the first one. So the Nigerian migrants, criminal alien invaders is what they are, not migrants, are fleeing South Africa after a spike in xenophobic protests. The migrants say they're living in fear after a campaign group gave people living illegally in South Africa until June 30th to leave. Nigeria's diplomatic mission in South Africa says many of those returning no longer feel safe to continue living or working in the country. Fair enough. But this is not the way you go about it. You do what Trump does. You send your immigration service from Home Affairs around and arrest people in the country illegally and give them a fair hearing and then deport them. That's what you do. And this says another 318 Nigerians are waiting repatriation or undocumented. So what is it, 268 or 318? Look at these thugs with sticks and handles from spades and knob carries. Look at these thugs waiting to attack people. Voluntary repatriations follow violent anti-immigrant protests in parts of the country. Oh, it's 268. They wrote 318 up here. Down there they say 268. But now another 318. This is insane. This is insane. In the context of ongoing progress, the public is again urged to never engage in violence or take the law into their own hands, says Leon Schreiber. Oh, you mean engage in violence like raiding a diplomatic facility on Geloftedag, the 16th of December, in violation of the Vienna Conventions? Use the state monopoly on use of force? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Leon Schreiber, for your contribution that no one cares about. The Democratic Alliance gets things done in the GNU. Malawians and Nigerians are fleeing South Africa amid xenophobic threats. My goodness. Here are Malawians trying to get out of the country. This isn't Sherwood. More than 3,000 Malawians now, including hundreds of children, are staying in an open field in South Africa's port city of Durban after fleeing escalating anti-immigrant threats and attacks. At the park, which had transformed into a makeshift transit camp on Wednesday, many people said repatriation was their only option amid violent protests aimed at immigrants. Well, it's aimed at illegal aliens. Sabia John, 33, a Malawian who fled Nazaria Township with her husband and 3 children, told the AFP news agency her daughter, a grade 2 pupil, was forced to abandon her exams. They said, "We must go. We have no choice in the matter. It's better our government take us away from here than face the anger of South Africans." Ellen Wamalima, a 45-year-old widow, mother of 3 and former domestic worker in Mossel Bay, fled a mob who nearly caught up with her and had to hide out in the bush for 2 weeks. Wow, we lost everything. They burnt our houses and all our belongings. The anti-migrant marches have backed by the MK Party and, of course, Action SA, March and March, and the Patriotic Alliance, all shameful organizations that disgrace themselves with their assaults on black Africans. Afrophobia is alive and well amongst black South Africans, and racism against black Africans and against white South Africans is real. More than 1,000 Malawians have fled. That number is now 3,000. Overnight, it swelled from 1,200 to 3,000. This is crazy. Meanwhile, the Patriotic Alliance, which hates foreigners, has won another Western Cape by-election in a clear warning sign to the ANC and the DA. PA won another by-election, calling it a sign of support for base deepening with every poll. The PA retained its ward in Swartland on Wednesday with a considerable increased majority of 53% in the final by-election in the province before the local government elections on November 4th. Its new council in the ward is Raymond Maines. The PA received 1,373 votes ahead of the DA, which had 1,090. ANC got only 104 votes. Truth and Solidarity Movement got 11 votes. So it's increased its support from the last election. Well, things are not going well for the DA, despite their claims to the contrary. Members of Parliament are clashing over lawyers fighting to declare John Schlope, the impeached Western Cape Justice, from serving on the impeachment committee. Battle lines are drawn as parties spar over fit and proper tests for committee members. Parliament is embroiled in its first political fight over the makeup and functioning of the groundbreaking impeachment committee on the Section 89 report. This became clear during the National Assembly Rules Committee Wednesday when it was chaired by House Speaker Toko Didiza. In one corner of the impeachment battle with GNU partners, the DA, the ANC, the Freedom Front Plus, and other opposition parties, MK, EFF, Action SA, and African Transformation Movement. Yeah, well, they're fighting over whether to keep John Schlope on the committee. Well, the guy shouldn't be there. He shouldn't even be in Parliament. He's a disgraced, impeached judge for his conduct. How can you let someone like that in the tent? Durko blunder has left South African members of Parliament locked out of UK prisons on a UK prison tour. Here's another reason why Ronald Lamola shouldn't be trusted with a kindergarten crash, let alone an important position like the foreign ministry. Once again, Durko is screwed up. This is the same organization that tried to flood Poland with crew-served weapons, dozens of armed agents, in violation of diplomatic norms in the Vienna Convention, their failure to disclose the crew-served weapons, the number of weapons, or the people who be entering the country, because the arrogance and asshattery of an African liberation movement that doesn't conform to international norms, the ANC. And of course, Wally Rhoda told us that, well, it's because the Poles are racist. They're not racist. They're just not stupid. They're not going to let an armed army out of the plane in Warsaw while your president is traveling to Kiev. Remember that cock-up? And of course, every time Ronald Lamola opens his mouth about America, he puts his oversized foot inside it, lying about America and making one stupid diplomatic mistake after another. Why this guy is still the minister is beyond comprehension. Well, the state calls Julius Malema's arguments in his firearm conviction appeal absurd. Well, the conviction can't be appealed. The sentencing can be appealed. EFF leader Julius Malema is fighting to overturn his firearms conviction, which is impossible. After being sentenced to 5 years in prison for allegedly firing a gun. What do you mean allegedly? What is with you, News 24? What allegedly firing? He's convicted. You're safe. You're not going to be sued. You can say he's convicted. Allegedly firing? The court determined he was guilty. That's no longer alleged. Now it's true. The convicted criminal, Julius Malema, is fighting this. His leave to appeal on firearms charges are absurd and lack all logic and reason, according to the state. He was convicted of 5 firearm-related charges and sentenced to an effective 5 years direct imprisonment by Magistrate Toinette Olafir in the Kugompo Regional Court back in April. He's fighting to have this overturned. In his papers, Malema said the state misconstrued the charge against him, that his adaptation of the charge sheet was intended to align it with the evidence. The adaptations were made in an attempt to cover some of the gaps that had become evident in the state's case. In his own words, there's no substance to the allegation that I lied about seeing people running after I fired the shots. Despite this factor being so obvious, as people could clearly be seen running in the first video footage when I started to discharge the 9mm Glock. So now he admits he discharged it. Then he says there's no evidence of a 9mm Glock handgun having been at the stadium in my possession or even being discharged. So he contradicts what he said in the same statement. No spent cartridges from such a firearm were found at the scene, and no damage consistent with firing such a firearm on numerous occasions at the scene could be found. It was never put to anybody who testified that such a firearm had been at the scene, in my possession, or fired by me. Oh, my goodness. He claims it was a toy gun. Yeah, Julius Malema is an ass, and he just needs to be removed from Parliament and sent to jail for the 5-year term that he earned. Yep, removed from Parliament. Anyway, the Section 89 report has made its way to the impeachment committee. Section 89 reports found President Ramaphosa has a case to answer for is formally before Parliament's impeachment committee. The 31-member committee is made up of representatives from 16 of the 18 political parties in Parliament. The committee was officially announced last Monday. On Thursday, the subcommittee on the review of assembly rules met with the Parliament's legal advisors to review the rules. Yeah, so expect this to play out forever. Tyla will be performing at the opening ceremony match in Mexico City today in just a little over an hour plus. Mexico and Bafana Bafana will be playing. South Africans across the globe prepare for Bafana Bafana's historic World Cup return. Oh, look at that tongue hanging out there. South Africans around the world will have their eyes fixed on Mexico City Estadio Azteca on Thursday as Bafana Bafana takes on host Mexico in the opening match. Adding to the occasion, 2-time Grammy Award-winning icon Tyla is set to perform the South African national anthem before kickoff, bringing Mzansi flavor to one of the world's biggest sporting stages. She'll be performing a medley of hits, including a collaborative Afro-pop FIFA track with U.S. rapper Future titled Game Time. There you go. So, 5:30. Well, that means that it's actually going to start here pretty soon. Is it on now? No, that's GMT. 7:30. I was going to say 7:30. That makes sense. Okay. Yep. Opening ceremony. Ooh, that's a hot outfit for Tyla. It'll be the historic moment for South Africa, which turns to the World Cup for the first time in 16 years. And it's a replay of what happened back then. The last time South Africa appeared in the World Cup was the opener when Sifiwe Shabalala's unforgettable goal helped secure a 1-1 draw against Mexico in Johannesburg. Yeah, it was something special for the Bafana Bafana fans. Am I broadcasting the Bulls final? Of course I am. Yes, I'll be covering that. That's on the 19th, though. It's going to be on a Friday, so I will cover that, absolutely. And I was at the press conference this morning with Johan Ackerman in Loftus. They shot everybody. Residents linked the Cleveland massacre to illegal mining turf war. Residents claim that heavily armed Zama-Zamas linked to illegal mining disputes stormed the Jumpers' informal settlement in Cleveland, killing 12 people and injuring 10 others in an hour-long shooting spree. Innocent residents were caught in a crossfire with children forced to hide under beds as gunfire tore through the settlement. No arrest as of yet. Ladies and gentlemen, we turn our attention now back to Mel. There, unfortunately, is no Starbucks where the refugees are at. So let me just do a poll. We've got 375 people here. We're bound to have at least a handful of refugees in the United States. So start a poll. Okay, come on. Okay, we're going to do a poll for Mel's sake because she might be right. Yes. Okay, here you go. Is there a Starbucks near you if you're a refugee? This is empirical scientific evidence. We need this. We need this scientific evidence. So please answer the poll honestly. If you're not a refugee, then just answer the third option. If you're a refugee and there's a Starbucks near you, answer yes. If there's no Starbucks, say no. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. Most people are not in the USA. So there you go. The poll is up. Please answer the poll, folks. 40 votes already. Well, that's about 10% of the current viewership here. We want to make sure that we get an honest answer because Mel might be right. It might be a human rights violation. There are no Starbucks near the refugees, and we don't want to shortchange her. Maybe she's correct. I mean, Professor Mel may be on top of things. No soft life in the U.S. Mel Fiona has issued a warning to African refugee applicants citing experiences of those living in the USA. Except she didn't cite any experience. She just talked a bunch of blather coming out of her mouth. The Real Housewives star and her husband Pete were arrested for shoplifting. Yes. Tonight on Deported Housewives of Pretoria. In her viral video, she claimed it's a white genocide and that Trump was right. But now she's saying Trump is not your friend and America's making up things. And then they stick this gratuitous thing here about Ramon Cabanach and misstate what he said. I went and commented on Ramon's tweet. I hadn't seen that. Boy, they love trolling these people. They don't troll my Twitter account because they never got nothing to go on. 60 Starbucks shops in a 5-mile radius. Exactly, Utopi. Well, Trump warns that U.S. will seize key Iranian hub of Kharg Island. Well, this is not a good plan here, President Trump. You don't announce to your enemies you're going to seize the island. You should have seized it on day one before you even launched missiles. I told you this. Yeah, Deported Housewives of Pretoria. Trump threatens to take key Iranian island. We're going to hit Iran very hard tonight and threaten to take Kharg Island, which handles roughly 90% of the crude exports. Things are getting hot in Iran, and this is not the way you make it happen. So Trump has, as I said, threatened to seize Kharg Island. That's not. There's an image of Kharg Island. There's 8 updates since I loaded this news program. Let's see what they are. He threatened to attack Iran very hard tonight, thereby putting their air defense on alert. Not smart. He said they would rather not attack civilian infrastructure, despite previously threatening to. This comes, the U.S. said it will increase strikes on the Republic. One of Iran's top negotiators warned of an endless quagmire if U.S. makes impulsive decisions. Quagmire? There's no quagmire. There are no troops on the ground stuck in foxholes. There's no quagmire. The price of oil has risen since Trump announced that he was going to attack Iran. Brent crude increased by $2 to $94 a barrel. Remember, it was $79 a barrel before the thing started. So, U.S. has confirmed that it carried out a strike on a Guinea-Bissau flagged vessel, the MT Jalvier, which, according to Central Command, was violating the blockade. 24 Iranian drones attacked the Kuwaiti Armed Forces in the past 2 days. Iran's semi-official news agency says explosions have been heard in Sirak, which borders the Strait of Hormuz. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said Thursday that all parties must work towards a diplomatic settlement that fully respects the territorial integrity, sovereignty, and political independence of Lebanon. So outgoing secretary, that's Lebanon, not Iran. We're talking about Iran. Iran, Trump pledges to hit them very hard tonight. Their foreign ministry condemned U.S. strikes on the country, saying that it has rendered the ceasefire practically meaningless. Excuse me. You violated a ceasefire and attacked an Apache helicopter in international waters in the airspace over Oman. You nearly killed 2 of our crew members. You made the ceasefire useless, and you've been attacking Israel and others. Mauritius says it's not received any proposals from the United States to buy Diego Garcia. Mauritius said Monday had not received any proposals from the Trump administration on the Chagos Islands after the Telegraph had falsely reported the White House was considering a plan to buy the islands from Mauritius. The Mauritian government has taken note of the information reported by the Telegraph. As of today, it has not received any official proposal and has not been approached either directly or indirectly by the United States administration regarding a separate agreement concerning Diego Garcia or the Chagos Archipelago. Mauritius' position remains unchanged. Its sovereignty over Chagos is non-negotiable. Well, I'm sorry. You have no sovereignty over the Chagos. That's not part of Mauritius. That's an archipelago out in the Pacific, and it's not yours. You can claim it, but it's like China's 9-dash line. Mexico versus South Africa, World Cup matches, and here we go. Highly anticipated World Cup kicks off at the iconic Aztec Stadium today. Yep. 1 o'clock. Well, that's like in 5 minutes. I thought this thing was on at I'm confused. I thought the game was on. Hang on a second. Let me just check on this. I thought the game was on at 3 p.m. That doesn't make sense. Maybe I got something wrong. Okay, so let's see. FIFA schedule. Here we go. FIFA schedule. 3 p.m. Why does it say 3 p.m.? Maybe the coverage starts at 1 o'clock. The game starts at 3 p.m. Maybe that's what's going on. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, man. I thought they started this time. Anyway, there you have it. So where were we at here? We were talking about Iran. Okay, Mexico. Anyway, it says 1 o'clock. That must be the sports coverage. The game is actually on at 9 o'clock South African time. They played Mexico last time around. Out of nearly 400 people, we've got 151 votes, folks. Vote in the poll. We got to make sure whether Mel's right or not. Iran has threatened to stop their game and violate FIFA rules if anyone protests against the terror regime in Tehran during this World Cup. Iran threatened to halt its matches at the World Cup if unauthorized flags are displayed or slogans targeting the national team are chanted at stadiums. Iranian media reported, according Sports Minister Ahmed Doniamali, following criticism of the team's presence in the tournament. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, but Iran says the coach is going to walk off the pitch if anyone brings flags or says anything. Additionally, the homophobic, homosexual-hating Egyptian and Iranian sides, their football federations, has said that any LGBTQ plus pride-related activities during the Seattle match will lead to them walking off the pitch. Listen to them demanding to censor the free speech of international visitors to the World Cup in Seattle. You don't have any right to say what happens here. Now, frankly, people should keep politics out of sports. I agree. But this just shows you how the leftists who embrace the Muslim world and embrace totalitarian fascist states in the Muslim world are silent when the Muslim world threatens the gay community. Britain's Defense Secretary Healey has quit. He says that Keir Starmer is not paying enough money. Britain's Defense Secretary says he resigned over a disagreement with the Prime Minister about defense spending. In a letter addressed to Keir Starmer and posted on X on Thursday, John Healey accused the Prime Minister of failing to commit the resources needed to defend the country. You have been unable, and the Treasury has been unwilling to commit the resources the nation needs to defend the country at this time of rising threats. He said that the financial settlement falls well short of what is required for defense in the country in this dangerous time, rising to only 2.68% of GDP in 2030, when he argued that 3% by that year was essential. Well, 3% is already needed today. They're at 2% now. Police fire water cannons at protesters again in Belfast, in Northern Ireland. Police in Northern Ireland deployed water cannons as anti-immigrant protesters entered the second night Wednesday after a Sudanese man was charged with attempted murder following a brutal knife attack. Video showed a crowd of protesters hurling objects towards police vehicles, and officers responded by firing water cannons at them in Newtown Abbey, 8 miles north of Belfast Centre. 16 people arrested, 2 were charged, 2 officers were injured, some by Molotov cocktails. The unrest followed a night of more widespread rioting when masked protesters torched homes and vehicles. A local pastor, John McKee, told the BBC some members of his church who have been with us for 20 years were getting put out of their home, had their house attacked, windows smashed behind them. They're getting put out just because they're black. Well, I'm sorry, they're not black. That's an adjective. See, once again, CNN doesn't know how to use the English language. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said it's clear that people who were targeted last night because of their background, those responsible feel the full force of the law. Yet the terrorists who attack and the grooming gangs who sexually assaulted, raped, and enslaved 250,000 English girls over the course of 15 years, they're not facing the full might of, those communities aren't facing the full might of British law enforcement. Why is that, Keir Starmer? In fact, you guys are voting down efforts to punish those people. The United States defends the decision to bar the Somali referee who was greeted as a hero when he returned to Somalia. Omar Abdul Qadir Artan was blocked because he has relations with al-Shabaab terrorist. Yep, so he was blocked from coming in the country. SpaceX's IPO could make 4,400 people millionaires in just a matter of moments. Tomorrow, all these employees who got stock options. Wow. Jumping back to South Africa, Mango is offering a chance for passengers to claim $140 million in unflown tickets. How are they doing that? They're in bankruptcy. The business rescue practitioner of troubled state-owned low-cost airline Mango has promised to reopen the window of passengers owed about $140 million in claim their unflown tickets this month. Wow. A chartered accountant, Sipo Sono, has updated concerned passengers about the status of the tickets that they booked before the airline crashed at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2021, leaving thousands of people stranded. So apparently you'll be able to file to get your money back. Good news for South Africans. Herman Mashaba says Johannesburg residents are not stupid. They will not vote for Helen Zille. Tonight, from the FIFA World Cup, another own goal scored by Herman Mashaba. Today, it's not racism coming out of his mouth, but stupidity. As dumb as the DA. But hey, he comes from the DA, so what do you expect? Action SA mayoral candidate for the city of Johannesburg and former mayor Herman Mashaba said the people of Johannesburg are not that stupid to vote for a competitor and DA candidate Helen Zille. First off, Herman, nobody votes for the mayor. You should know that. You don't vote for the mayor. No one does. You vote for a party. He was on hand at the party's comprehensive review of the government national unity, which marked 2 years since its formation this Sunday. The evaluation of GU's performance is intended to measure its delivery against commitments made to South Africans and highlight areas of progress and concern. Action SA President is joined by National Chairperson Michael Beaumont and Parliamentary Leader Athol Trollop, as well as Chief Whip Lorato Ngubeni. Wow. He said that the city of Johannesburg needs an experienced mayor. I had no real choice. My colleagues and residents of the city of Johannesburg pushed me into accepting that responsibility, and I accept it with grace. I look at my competitors. Honestly, it's a great opportunity for Action SA because for the 3 years I've served the residents of Johannesburg, if I look at the people I have to compete against, they're people who have failed the people of Cape Town. Oh, my goodness. He said, I look at them and saying to myself, my goodness, the city of Cape Town right now has just budgeted $141 million to build a wall to hide the poor people instead of actually providing dignity to them. No, race hustling, Herman Mashaba. The wall is because of the crime attacking tourists, and it's driving away tourists, and people are being murdered because of that stupidity. It's not to hide the illegal settlements that line. They're not embarrassed by that. Also, make up your mind. Either you're competing against Helen Zille or you're competing against the DA. Helen Zille is not the mayor of Cape Town, and she has nothing to do with the wall. She is a DA politician who is being put forward to be the mayoral candidate in the council when the vote comes, just like you are. So either the DA or Helen Zille. Take your pick. You can't blame Helen Zille for what's happening in Cape Town. She was the mayor there 2 decades ago. Now, you may not be keeping up with current events, but she was the mayor 2 decades ago and made that city dynamic. So Herman Mashaba, hustling again. Unbelievable. The Comrades is marking its 50th run. Wow. This ultra marathon. The 50th Comrades run-up will be the shortest in recent history, with organized interest and expanded safety measures for the country's most iconic race. Sunday, June 14th, approximately 20,000 runners expected to line up at Durban City Hall for the 99th edition of the Comrades Ultimate Human Race. It's the ultimate challenge because it's all about pain and commitment to pushing on to that infamous 12-hour cutoff no matter the circumstances. Wow. This year's course starts in Durban and ends in Hollywood Bet's Scottsville Racecourse, shaves 133 meters from the 2024 distance at 85.91 kilometers. Wow. And there's Gerda Sten, who won that 2025. And Tete Njana, who won the men's version. Wow. The Comrades. Been there, seen it up close in person in Durban as it was finishing. The Senate Judiciary Chairman, Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, wants prosecutions for the Arctic frost and accountability. The committee looks to call Jack Smith to testify. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, says the panel this year will call on former Special Counsel Jack Smith to testify about Arctic frost, the code name for the 2023 bogus investigation into the efforts to challenge the result of the 2020 election. The Iowa Republican welcomes more prosecutions involving Arctic frost, including the House moving forward the potential impeachment of U.S. District Judge James Boasberg, an Obama appointee who approved gag orders for subpoenas in the probe. The attempt was to make sure that not only was President Trump never president again, but he would be ruined economically, socially, and politically, and he would end up in prison, he said during an interview. In Arctic frost, Smith subpoenaed more than 400 conservative individuals and entities linked to President Trump's challenge to the election results. Swept up in the collection of private data and communications were phone records for senators and members of Congress, which Mr. Grassley contends violates the speech and debate clause of the U.S. Constitution. That portion of the Constitution protects lawmakers from litigation, including criminal prosecution, as they carry out their official duties. It was an abuse of the special counsel. Yep, so good. Someone trying to hold these scumbags accountable for the violation of the law. UFC fighters say, was a super chat there, say that they're honored to compete in front of Trump in a card at the White House. UFC fighter Josh Hokett was decked out in an American flag bandana and American Eagle gloves as he unleashed vigorous trash talk ahead of the company's White House debut. Sean O'Malley earned American-style points for dressing in red. His hair, thank you for that. Who gave me that super chat? I can't see a Castle. It just says @Castle. Thank you for that. For me, the walk from the White House to the Octagon to represent America, to represent myself, and represent just who I am, what this country means to me, Chandler said, it's just a dream come true. The usual foul-mouthed fight hype from UFC's American fighters ahead of their primetime debut Sunday on the White House grounds largely yielded to bursts of national pride on Wednesday. Pretty cool, if you like that sort of thing. Oops, what are we doing, Western Cape? Boy, there's all kinds of things out of order here. Western Cape's looking for 9 billion rand for the storm damage. Ryanair is being investigated for charging parents to sit next to their children. The competition watchdog in Britain will determine whether the airline's mandatory fee is unfair. Low-cost airline called the investigation bogus. I call Ryanair bogus for charging parents to sit next to their minor children. Seat them next to each other, you retards. The regulators said that Ryanair's terms and conditions require children under 12 to sit next to at least one parent. The parent, however, must pay to reserve the seat, typically around £8 per flight. That's just nonsense. Don't charge them for that. Nonsense. Canada is moving to ban social media for those under the age of 16. Well, more fascist, totalitarian dictators. The country's previous attempt to get tech companies to shelter young users failed amid heavy criticism from civil liberty groups. You think this is going to work? Canada is joining a growing list of retarded countries seeking to protect young people from online harm by restricting their access to social media platforms. That's what the government should do, or what the family should do. The Canadian government Wednesday introduced new digital safety proposals that require users to verify that they are at least 16 to access websites like Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Yeah, the safety of children cannot be an afterthought. We need basic protection in place so every child. It's not your job to protect children, government. It's a family's responsibility. Parents are responsible, not the government. Get your nose out of people's business. President Trump once again says he will hit Iran hard tonight. As the World Cup opens, Iran will be pummeled. There's a shift in strategy taking place here. He will hit Iran very hard and take control of the country's oil and gas markets. He's abandoned the diplomatic route and is aiming to force Tehran into a nuclear deal it has resisted for months. It's on like Donkey Kong, folks. It's coming. SpaceX IPO will raise at least $5 billion order from BlackRock. And of course, Wall Street Journal is freaking out over BlackRock, but BlackRock isn't buying the shares. Investors are buying the shares through their accounts in BlackRock. Wow. Elon Musk is SpaceX preparing to stage the largest public offering ever, selling $75 billion worth of shares in one fell swoop. Investors are showing up. BlackRock put in an order to buy at least $5 billion worth of SpaceX shares, according to people familiar with the matter. To put in context, the largest IPO of the year ahead of SpaceX was chipmaker Cerebras, which raised $5.5 billion in its offering. Individual investors alone requested well over $70 billion worth of SpaceX shares. Yep. Including a $1 billion request from a single-family office investor. Wow. Wish I had $1 billion to buy stock. That's crazy. Parts of the Pentagon are currently locked down after a hazardous materials incident. Almost half the buildings affected as emergency services assess the situation. Pentagon issued a shelter-in-place order because of a hazardous material incident. Nearly half the Pentagon, 4 corridors on 3 floors of the 5-story building are locked down. Hazardous materials team was responding to the situation. Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell said systems detected an air quality issue, and the department issued a shelter-in-place order for the affected area. I used to work there. You don't want to be stuck in that building. Trust me. You don't want to be stuck in that building. That is not a pleasant experience. Wow. That's an old photograph there. A very old photograph. Crazy. CENTCOM says that it has disabled a third tanker to enforce the Iran blockade. Central Command added that it has disabled 9 vessels and redirected 135 ships that complied with the military's directives. Since the blockade went into force on April 13th, it's disabled 9 vessels, allowed 42 with humanitarian aid to pass, and redirect. And the media never talk about allowing the humanitarian aid to pass, but they did allow humanitarian aid to pass. All right, folks, we're coming up on the launch of the FIFA World Cup, 3 p.m. Mexico versus Canada versus South Africa. It's in Group A. Group B, it's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Canada versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. Group A today at 10 p.m. South Korea versus Czech Republic. And tomorrow at 9 p.m. it's USA versus Paraguay. And then on Saturday at 3 p.m. it's Qatar versus Switzerland and Brazil versus Monaco. Or Morocco, excuse me, not Monaco, Morocco. Where's my head at? Monaco. It's Morocco. All right, let's take a look at the poll. How are we doing here? 184 votes. And 6% say there's not a Starbucks near them. So that's 1/3. Wow. Of course, I didn't define what near means. Okay, so 1/3 of the refugees that are here. So there's 18% are refugees that are here. So that's 18, about 30 of you. That means that 10 of you don't have a Starbucks near you. Maybe Mel was right. Maybe that's the problem. The unbelievable human rights abuses and not having a Starbucks near the refugees. It's terrible. I'm very sympathetic to the refugees who don't have a Starbucks near them. It's a tragedy of epic proportions. Oh, that's just Starbucks. Three miles, Ian, that's near. Yeah, well, we're done with the news. You can ask refugee questions now. Having shit, what's this? Is it standard for Church World Service not to allow us to view our apartment before signing 1-year lease? Well, I don't know what to tell you. I wouldn't sign any lease without having seen the apartment. I sure as hell wouldn't sign a lease in Africa. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's on you. No one can make you sign a lease. And don't tell me, oh, they threatened that they're going to kick us out of the program. They can't do that. We'll file a grievance. They can't do that. They have your money. And they can't just do that. So, you know, if they tell you have to sign a lease, no. I'm not going to sign a lease for a place you haven't seen. I mean, we already had a South African nearly die because she was put in an apartment where the agent failed to inspect the apartment and there was carbon monoxide poisoning because the heating system was faulty. She woke up nauseated, disoriented, and vomiting. Thankfully, the wind changed and the fresh air came in and woke her up, or she would have died from carbon monoxide poisoning in her sleep. Wow. That nearly happened. That's a true story, ladies and gentlemen, from earlier this year in Omaha, Nebraska. A true story. So, no, they can't make you sign a lease. No one can make you sign a lease. It's a legal document. And it's not standard practice. Thank you for your question, MAGA First. Someone deleted it, but I went back and found it. James Duvall says, my U.S. tie begged me to bring Aromat and Jakobs Kroning. Well, Jakobs Kroning is German. I don't know what Aromat is. And if that's what they want, then they're not American. Where will the Iranian refugees migrate to as their infrastructure goes away? What infrastructure? No infrastructure is being attacked other than infrastructure used by the government. Where will they migrate to? Well, they'll flee to well, they won't want to go to Iraq. They won't go to Russia. And they're not going to want to go to Pakistan, so they're in a tough spot. Being Persians, they don't want to go to Arab country. They aren't going to go anywhere. Aren't going to go anywhere. Starbucks tastes terrible, sorry to say. Well, that's a matter of opinion. I think that bride cookies with onions taste revolting. And that's a matter of opinion. Utopia, no, it's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal to have someone sign a lease for a place they haven't seen. That is not normal. That is not legitimate. Anyone doing that to you needs to be told, no, take me to the place and show it to me. You can't sign a lease for a place you've never seen. I mean, it's not even common sense. Oh, the spice. Yeah. Anyway. Let's say that person's not an American. They must be a South African, the U.S. tie. Having share stock in SpaceX seems risky, especially with all the debris in orbit. No, because SpaceX will soon wind up being a space junkman, too. Pretty soon, SpaceX is going to be putting craft up there to collect debris in near-Earth orbit and clean up the orbit. You watch. You watch. Just a matter of time. Welcome in early and late, friends. Please hit subscribe. Hey, Jasper, how's it going? I saw you donated money for the Tunnies. Thank you for that. Jasper gave money to the Tunnies. Here it is. So let's put that up on the screen and see if anyone else has donated. Why does it keep giving me this? Oh. Okay. Oh, gave me an error. Now it's back. Okay. Jasper was the last one to donate to the Tunnies. So, folks, these ladies are trying to raise money for a trip. They need a long way to go, $80,000. Support their trip to help women in rural communities. So, Jasper gave 50 yesterday. Wyatt Army chick gave 100. Heidi gave 200. Mickey Dangerous gave 20. I gave 60. And that's what we've done as the Wyatt Army. So that's 300, 400, and then 1,000. About 1,500 Rand we've given. So we got a long way to go to help them, folks. If you want to help them, here's the link. You can go there and donate money to them. So if you want to help them, you can go check it out. It's up to you. So anyway, paste. There we go. That's the link for the Tunnies if you want to help them. Okay. Just to cover up to allow them to access more rules and regulations around the social media so they can shut them down. Exactly, Neff. That's what's going on. Ryanair is crazy. It's unbelievable. Well, you know, Ryanair filed about 10 or 15 years ago. They filed with the European Union to carry passengers who don't have a seat. Yeah. They were going to put rows in the back where you had to stand for the flight. The argument was, well, the flights are under an hour, so why should people sit? True story. True story. The European Union said no. Ryanair tried to do that, to cram people on the flights. So your donation worked, Joe Texas. Mine got rejected. I don't know why. It went through, but then it came back and said it was rejected. I don't know why. I don't know what happened there. So I'm not sure what happened there. Yep. The collectible Springbok shirt and the custom shirt I got for you will fit. Well, James, the South African XXL large will probably fit. This one is actual jersey. It wasn't a replica or anything like that. And the XXL large, I'm too chubby for it. It was very tight. I wasn't. This is a XXL large, and look how loose that is. But the rugby jersey is the actual one. Players. Bossy Cop comes in with a 350 Rand super sticker. Says you're amazing. Well, thank you so much. Back at you. Cool beans. What is that? A Chinese dude or Japanese? Is that a samurai? little samurai. He looks like a Bucky, except he's from Asia. Anyway. Yeah. What else we got here? Devet Martens. My old man ran the comrades while he had the gastro. The man that shot himself to death and still finished. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. And thank you, at Castle, for the 140 Rand. You must have changed your username to hide who you were. My son and his wife are joining friends to watch the opening FIFA match. I told them wear Springbok jerseys. I'm sure it will make them feel better at the end of the match. Well, Pearl, that game is in just a couple hours. I'll probably put it on here and watch a little bit of it, but then I've got to go in to do our meetings for the Veterans Organization. So, yep. See the clip where Belfast police arrested the waste bins used in the protest? No, I didn't see that. Spanish learning program you were using during the Colonel's last interview. Huh? Somebody said, Henry said, look, they're washing the roads. Yeah, they're washing the roads in Belfast. That's what's going on. There is an opening ceremony. That's probably why it's so early for the FIFA World Cup. Hey, Pearl, what's going on? All right, so I think I'm caught up mostly. Holden says, where do you suppose they already answered that? Wearing my Springbok jersey tomorrow. We were given an internal comm to wear green and gold. So, Loretta says we have some hope again after the email was received. So finally, things will move again in our cases. Loretta, I told you. I mean, I know it's not easy to do. You're waiting, the waiting game, but see, there's movement. There are other people waiting. They don't see movement, so hopefully they'll get movement as well. But a lot of people have been getting movement in the past week. Just Mike, no questions. Just hope everyone's doing well. Well, thank you, Just Mike. How am I doing? Jelly Rider says, I'm okay. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? Clean Space Act. I haven't seen that. And no, I have no update on Luba family, so I'll check in on them later. Just been busy. So this is, here, we're going to make him famous here because he wants to be famous. He wants to be famous. So can anybody tell me the premise for this? I don't get this at all. This didn't make any sense to me. So someone sent this to me. I don't get this because I don't read other people's comments for the most part. But this was sent to me. So I guess this is after Wednesdays with the Colonel. Jonathan DT, who used to come in here and spew racial comments all the time, anti-Semitic comments. Jonathan DT put this on a video comment. Said, Chris Wyatt wants white people to be thrown in prison for posting mean tweets about Keir Starmer. What kind of man is Chris Wyatt? Is he so emotionally fragile? What? He said, I want white people to be thrown in prison for posting mean tweets about Keir Starmer. First off, that implies I defend Keir Starmer. I think somebody's off their meds. They're truly off their medication. What kind of man am I? I'm a kind of man that doesn't stand for bullshit like this. I want white people thrown in prison for mean tweets about Keir Starmer. What is the basis of that? I mean, where does that even come from? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, did I miss something? Did I do a video where I even talked about that? What the hell? I mean, dude, you need some care. You need some care. I'm telling you, man, you need care. And this one's for you, Jonathan.
Stupid people should wear signs, neon bright, so we can find a way to dodge their tanglements. Avoid their chaos more, say less.
Wear a sign, wear a sign.
Woo. Save me from your twisted line. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Nada, don't waste your time.
Want people thrown in prison?
Politicians dance and spin. Blatant lies with a practiced grin. Blame the moon, blame the
Honestly.
You think they're
That's just crazy.
6, not 35, playing games to stay alive. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Save me from your twisted line. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Nada, nada, don't waste your time. Celebrities with tails so tall. Lost my yacht, it's so small. It's hard being rich, don't you see? You're living in your fantasy.
Well, Karen, not only is it way off topic, what the hell is he talking about? When did I ever call for people to be in prison for mean tweets about Keir Starmer? I can't stand Keir Starmer. He's a socialist dirtbag. Why in the world would I defend Keir Starmer? The only thing I might have said is that people shouldn't be burning things in the streets and attacking people. That's lawlessness. Just arrest, process, and deport. That's what you should do. Yeah, he definitely suffers from that, Ian. We track rivets in space. No one is going to collect any of that junk. Eventually, they're going to have to. Right now, it's so far spread, even though there's tons of it up there. Yep. Yeah, when you all. I mean, these attempts to disparage me are just comical. Hey, Werner, what's going on? Igoli says, Gold, South Africa. Started with PRM email the day it was announced. Okay. Yes, I am a truth addict. That's for damn sure. Yes, the bathrobe lady did have something to say about Jason Bartlett. She did. Someone sent me this screen capture. Yep. Some people just can't let the sun shine anywhere. By contrast, I speak well and promote Lili Van de Plas and defend her. I speak well and promote Professor G and defend him. Absolutely. Yep. And I speak well of Ronaldo, even though he doesn't deserve it. Yeah, what is that guy smoking, man? Completely lost the plot. That's just funny. Candy says, I don't suppose you had a minute to check my email. Candy, I have no idea. I didn't know. I didn't you send me an email. Candy? I'm going to look and see if I have an email from anybody named Candy. I don't see anything from anybody named Candy. Of course, maybe I got too many people that came in today. Okay, and I'll search for Candy. And, I have a dinner invitation for somebody on April 14th. Come on, frickin' browser sucks. Oh, but when was this? It's from last year. That was an invitation to dinner last year in the Cape Town area by somebody named Candy. I never saw it. I feel bad about that. People think I ignore things, but I never saw that. Never saw that email. It's from a year ago. Wow. I feel bad about that. Cruiser Phoenix. What's going on? What's the problem with Amerikaners? What did I miss, Cruiser Phoenix? Who are you responding to? It doesn't say you're responding to. I missed something there. I wasn't talking about RSC or about the Amerikaners. I sent it on all about. Yeah, that's the email I checked, Candy, but there's nothing from my name Candy there. I did a search for the term Candy. I didn't see a previous comment, Cruiser Phoenix. I have to go back and look for it. I don't see any comment from you there. You laughed. That's the last thing I see from you. Oh, well, I don't know what it was. I guess I missed it. Oh, well, not important. It's a short time compared to. That's a different Candy. Yeah, there's no Candy there. What address is wrong? Well, I don't think she filled out the whole email address there. I'm a Barbie girl, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on CakeNet, it's Deported Housewives of Pretoria. We go now live to Brooklyn. Tonight's guest is Mel Fayun. Mel, we've all heard the story. Most South Africans feel the way you do. Donald Trump is really not here to help South Africans. And given that you're a useful idiot, we've brought you in tonight to talk to people, to tell them just how evil Donald Trump is, how he thwarted your fraudulent asylum claim and went out of his way as the president of the United States to ensure that you were framed for grand larceny at a Publix in Florida. Of course, we know that Trump is a resident of Florida, therefore he obviously arranged all this, his close ties to the governor. So, Mel, please tell us about your experience in America. And before you speak, we'll be right back. But first, this message from our sponsor. Hello! We're from March and March. All foreigners get out, or we'll come for you on June 30th. That includes you whiteys. The preceding message was from March and March and has nothing to do with the deported housewives of South Africa. Now we turn our attention to Mel. Mel, please tell us about your experience in America.
Well, it was terrible. There was no nail salon in the prison. It was truly inhumane. They fed us dog food. I know it's dog food because it's premium. I used to feed it to my Rhodesian Ridgeback. Yes, so it was just absolutely terrible. Terrible. I couldn't cope. I couldn't get any Botox. I had wrinkles in prison. Can you imagine that? The lesbians were coming on to me with the wrinkles. It was horrible. I couldn't stand it. Although I must admit, this one Latina girl was pretty hot. Yeah, but, I just saying because Pete wasn't there. I was starved for attention. Anyway. But the worst part of my incarceration unjustly at the hands of the fascist totalitarian Donald Trump, the worst part of it was there was no Starbucks. Can you imagine that? Incarceration without Starbucks. These people are savages. They're absolutely savages. How in the world could you possibly put someone in prison without access to Starbucks, a nail salon, or Botox? Botox! What am I supposed to do? But what's a woman supposed to do? So, Mel, it sounds like a truly harrowing situation. But you went to America with such big dreams. And you and Pete said such horrific things about South Africa. Oh, no. We didn't say that. We were forced to do that. There was a Trump administration official in our apartment with a firearm pointed at Pete, making him type that stuff on X. It was terrible. It was terrible. Yes, sorry. Sorry, just a little bit here now. So, yeah, no, poor Pete didn't really write those things. He didn't mean it. It was all part of the deal that we made with the corrupt totalitarian regime in Washington. Yes, that was our deal. We would promise to say bad things about South Africa for the narrative that they wanted. Of course, you know that they didn't really want us because we're not farmers. I couldn't get my nails dirty. So, I just get out of there. Yeah, so, anyway. Okay. Well, Mel, thank you very much. We appreciate that, sharing your harrowing experience in these disunited states of America as you describe them. We'll be right back with a word from our next sponsor. Hello! Welcome to South Africa. Get the hell out! You foreigners don't belong here. That's right. All the way from Middle Tennessee, I've been hired by Operation Doo-Doo Head to tell you to get out of South Africa. Get out now or face the repercussions on June 30th. That's 330. June 30th. Get the hell out. The preceding was a message from Operation Doo-Doo Head, one of our sponsors. We go back now live on Deported Housewives of South Africa. Mel, in your experience in America, what was the best part of it? Oh, it was all horrible. It was terrible. Nothing about it was good. Ouch! This thing is sharp. Anyway, yeah, it was all terrible. It was unfair. It was cruel. I was curious why they arrested me. I asked them that. Do you know the police lied about everything that happened? Everything was a lie. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. So, Mel, I think most South Africans want to know, why did you come back to America? Media reports say that you were deported from the country. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm going to leave this interview if you keep lying. It's not true. I wasn't deported. I left voluntarily because I realized I was in a fascist country where they just arrest people on the street. I mean, they came to my house and arrested me for what? Because my bank card didn't work? What kind of crap is that? Oh, no, I left voluntarily after being subjected to Guantanamo Bay-like imprisonment with mean Latina lesbians trying to get in my knickers every night. Well, Mel, that truly sounds like a horrific situation. It also raises the question, are you homophobic? No, they just weren't pretty enough. I have a blonde wig, folks. I have a blonde wig. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, steal food and claiming poverty, but driving a Range Rover. Yeah, exactly. And then who pays for 1 year rent in advance? I mean, maybe you do in Manhattan. I don't know. She claimed that they were paying $4,500 a month in rent, and they paid for a year. So that's $45,000, $50,000 for the year. Okay, that's like twice my mortgage. Where the hell were they living? They were living in an apartment that cost them $60,000 or $50,000 a year, and then they claim they spent between $50,000 and $100,000 on legal fees. What was it? Let's go with $80,000. 80 of 50 is $130. Then they have a Range Rover, which they claim cost $35,000. It must be an old one because you can't get a Range Rover for $35,000. So that means $140, $175. So they spent $175,000 on that stuff alone, but they didn't have money to buy crisps or bread or water. By the way, don't they owe Tammy Taylor Nails $4 million? And they fled to the country that had a judgment against them, $4 million. It didn't make any sense. She also claimed that they were asylum seekers. But then in the interview she did on ENCA, she said they came here to build a business. Where's that at? Where's that darn thing at? Let me see if I can find that. It was comical. It was comical. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Let's talk about why you left South Africa then. Were you running? No. You were going to go start a new business.
As I said, we wanted to...
Okay, so let's hear this again. Mel said, no, we weren't running.
Let's talk about why you left South Africa then.
The argument was they fled because he was disbarred and there was a criminal decision against him. There was a court case against him. They fled the jurisdiction. That's what the argument was. So apparently that's untrue. Now, she claims that they were asylum seekers. But then here in this interview, once she's safely back in South Africa, she claims that they weren't fleeing racial oppression, which is what he said. They actually went to America to start a business. Listen to this bullshit.
Were you running?
No.
You were going to go start a new business.
As I said, we wanted to expand into the US, our business, and also Piet was going to practice as a lawyer. I've explained that in detail.
So how did that go?
It went well. Piet did very well, and he was about to become a lawyer in the United States.
Okay, so why did you get arrested?
No, he wasn't.
So what?
So he was about to become a lawyer in the United States. He isn't a graduate of a law school here. He has to pass the bar. Now, you don't have to go to law school to be a lawyer in many states. You have to pass the bar. So he was going to pass the bar? Really? That quickly?
What happened with the arrest is that the public's matter happened because my card started declining.
Your card started declining, yet the criminal complaint against you says that over a period of 6 months, you went multiple times to the same Publix and did the same scam of scanning items with a cheaper price tag on them for 6 months. And the reason Publix waited that long, I suspect, I don't know for a fact, is because once you reach a threshold, it becomes grand larceny, not simple shoplifting. I suspect that threshold in Florida might be $5,000. But whatever the case is, maybe they caught on to it and went back and looked at all the tape. But whatever the case is, you did this for a period of 6 months. Your card didn't work for 6 months. You didn't get another bank. And she started claiming a dodgy bank. These people just make up anything.
Quite a few times, actually. And I didn't know what the problem was. But
I know what the problem was. It's the dodgy housewives of Pretoria. Sorry, Mel. It's you, sweetheart.
I left it there. I didn't think anything of it. The card started declining. And then what happened was I would tell Piet, listen, go and pack the stuff in the car in the meantime, and I will sort out the payment. So I would...
Oh, okay. So let me explain this. She just admitted to shoplifting. Let me explain to you folks. She just said in this interview, safely in South Africa, where the Florida authorities can't get her, she just said that my car was declined. So let me translate. She hasn't paid for the items. She said, Pete, take the items to the car, and I'll go sort out the payment. Ladies and gentlemen, that's shoplifting. You don't leave a store without having paid for goods. That's shoplifting. Calling all pick and pays, ShopRites, Checkers. Be on the lookout for the deported housewife of Pretoria. If she appears in your store, be on caution. Have your cameras working. Deported housewife of South Africa. Deported housewife of Pretoria. Be all Checkers, ShopRites, and Pick and Pay in the greater Pretoria vicinity. Let's expand that to Centurion and Hammanskraal and each direction. And we can go further south to Sandton. All Pick and Pays, all Checkers, and all ShopRites. Be on the lookout for the deported housewife of Pretoria because her bank card doesn't work and she'll simply put the goods in her car and sort out the payment later. Seriously. That's what she said. She just admitted she's a thief. Unless the clerk told you to do that, that's theft. I mean, these people are comical.
Asked the clerk for a slip, and he would give me the slip, and I would go pay cash at a different teller. But they didn't see that part. So when the police spoke to me, they said to me, "But my card declined, so my money is up." And I said, "But my money is definitely not up."
Your money's up. That's not even a phrase Americans use. She must be using her vernacular.
Didn't you see where I paid cash? And she said, "Cash that you got where?" So I was shocked to see that even with the police,
Americans wouldn't ask you that question. They wouldn't ask you cash you got from where. If you pay for cash, we'd ask for the receipt. The receipt. So show us the receipt, not where did you get the cash from. This isn't a drug deal. We're not asking about that. Wow. According to previous interviews, Pete was preparing for bar exams, etc., and they P&M claimed the Tammy Debt lawsuit were filed by franchises to claim refunds over franchises never opened salons. Yeah, I've heard their story before, but they still have a $4 million judgment against them. So it's wild that she's lying about what body cams literally recorded. She's basically saying the footage is lying. Exactly. As if they altered it. So Publix, for these nobodies they've never heard of, sat on footage for 6 months and recorded them multiple times and then put it all together, altered it to make it look like she was stealing. Why? What do they care about Pete and Mel Theone? They don't care.
The amount started varying. It was $1,000, then it became $5,000. I'm sure you are.
Now this gets entertaining. Yeah, she's going back and forth what the amounts are. All I know is that the government and the Florida authorities have always reported $5,300.
Are beautifully unaware that it became $3,000.
Wow, how insulting to the person who's giving her airtime. I'm sure you're beautifully unaware. Boy, that's very insulting.
Recently. Not something that you would have done your homework on.
Ooh, not something that you would have done your homework on. Talk about condescending, and I suspect racist. I suspect racism here. Saying this to a black woman.
I'm sure you are beautifully unaware that it became 3,000 recently. Not something that you would have done your homework on.
I've done my homework.
Wow. Okay. How many people think that she said that because it was race related? I mean, I could be wrong. I'll admit I'm wrong if you don't think it's race related. But given the history of Mel and Pete, wow, to say that to a black woman. I mean, first off, if it isn't racist, then she's just stupid. I mean, she's just stupid. Stupid. Why would you say that to this black reporter? I mean, come on. Come on. Wow. This is the kind of people that give white people a bad reputation in South Africa. Wow.
It's actually $5,300.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You're
Mal.
here. No, it's not. If you go on to what the judge, when Piet spoke to the immigration judge, he said it was 3,000.
Okay, when Pete spoke to the immigration judge said 3,000. Immigration is not Florida. Florida is the one who arrested them for grand larceny, not immigration. They came to immigration's attention because they violated their visa and had no legal status to be in America. They were criminal alien invaders. And when they appeared on a criminal docket, they were wanted by ICE for overstaying their visa. And then, after being arrested by Florida authorities, Florida released them to federal authorities and put them in detention. It doesn't matter what the federal immigration judge said. He may have the information wrong. Florida is what matters. The $5,300 claim that the state of Florida made against them from Publix, that's what matters, not what the immigration judge said. That's not related.
All right. So we are told by U.S. authorities that it's $5,300, right? So that's what we're going to go with because you're back in South Africa because you were found to be stealing in another country.
This is precious, man. I love this. Props to this lady. I don't know who she is.
South Africa because you were found to be stealing in another country.
I don't think this conversation is going anywhere.
Oh, dear God. I don't believe this conversation is going anywhere. No, I don't think it is, Mel. I don't think it is. What did you think? Because you spewed the leftist lies that the media wants you to say, oh, Trump is evil. Oh, the refugees are starving. It's horrible. You shouldn't go there. Because you told those lies, America has narratives. It's all about farmers. Because you said the bullshit that the media wants you to say, you think they're going to give you a free pass on everything? Wow. Man, some people should wear signs. Oh, my goodness.
I don't think this conversation is going anywhere. With respect,
Mom.
you invited me on false pretenses.
I did
not doing. You did.
We're just
False pretenses? What? Were the pretenses where, listen, sweetheart, you can come and we won't ask you any questions about your criminal activity, your purported criminal activity. Oh, I'd love to interview Mel. I won't interview Julius Malone, but I'll interview Mel if she wants to get. And I'll tell you what. If she comes on here, I'll be fair. I won't make jokes. I won't do this. Well, there's nothing to gain from that. Yeah. Yeah, she's in line for an honorary doctorate.
get you started. I want you to have your say.
I don't need ENCA to have a say.
She doesn't need ENCA to have her say. Well, because everybody's giving her airtime. Oh, this is classic. When she walks out, watch the reporter's reaction. This is precious, man. Watch this. Say what?
So I did invite Mal Fulyoon to our ENCA studios for a sit-down interview. She has been on a bit of a sweetheart tour, and I wanted to ask her some tough questions. Didn't really go as I had expected, but
no, it didn't.
Catch that interview on enca.com.
Yeah, go to enca.com to watch it. It's still her arrogance. Yep, she still thinks herself as superior to others. She was arrogant enough to commit a crime, yes, and think she could get away with it because of her fake appearance. Yep, and she's arrogant enough to talk in a condescending, at a minimum, that was rude and condescending to the journalist. Okay, unless the interview was edited and we didn't see something, but that looked like a straight through stream. I didn't see any editing there. You didn't see it because I don't want a copyright claim. So I went through that and I watched it in its entirety. I didn't see any editing there. So unless it was edited, she was treated fairly. So it was at a minimum rude and condescending. I think it was also racially motivated based on her behavior. I don't know if that reporter's amazing. I think here she was amazing. I don't know. I'm not going to, because ENCA is a propaganda outlet. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's better than Newsroom Africa. I stand corrected. I shouldn't have said that. ENCA does a pretty good job. I'm thinking of Newsroom Africa. My bad. I don't want to disparage ENCA. They do good coverage. My apologies to ENCA. Let's get that out there right now. Yeah, I don't know how good this reporter is or how bad she is because I don't know her. But I will say that she was on point there. She was on point. Yeah, she's walking and she's wearing leggings. Not high fashion. Whole thing with her just makes me sick. Her arrogance was evident prior to them leaving. Exactly. Please don't interview Mel. Your stream has standards. Lynn, according to the bathrobe lady, we're desperate for clicks. So why wouldn't I interview her, man? We're desperate for clicks. Exactly, Snippets. What exactly was she expecting in that interview? What exactly was she expecting? Oh my goodness. That was something else. I'll tell you, man, that was something else. That was something else. I mean, what do you mean? Well, someone said before, they told me, said, well, I told you, Chris, she's not boring. Well, you were right. She's not boring. She looks like that drunk guy that crashed his car when the police arrived. He kept shouting and looking for Pete as if Pete was the driver. Oh my goodness. The Darwin Award, says Garrett. Okay, but how would we manage to keep our comments? Oh, no. It would be like the Lawrence McDonald interview. I would not interview her on a live. I would wet myself with the comments. There's no way I could hold it. If I interview Mel, and Mel, if you want to do an interview, I'll do an interview. Mel Fione, and you want to explain yourself. I will do an interview with you offline. I won't do it on air. There's no way I could do it live. It just the chat rate would be 96. It's right now 9. It would be 96. The sad thing is that people buy into that. There's actually people that listen to this. Yep. Oh my goodness. She's being condescending, rude, and nasty because she knows the interviewer can see right through her. Yep. Really, nobody's in the U.S. Well, unless you count this crime and hope they're banned for life. Yeah, Jacques, nobody knew who it was. Why would they set them up? Charnel, she doesn't know. We know. She should have watched the whole story we watched, even the body and dash cam videos. Yeah, exactly. She was in prison when all that stuff. See, I think you're right about that last domino. I think she's completely blissfully ignorant of the fact that the video of her crimes are all on social media. Her purported crimes. All that stuff is there. The charges there. We all know what happened. She can sit there and make stuff up and say, we didn't do the research. But it's there. It's all there. And yeah, but she's just arrogant. That's the problem. She's arrogant. Yeah, in South Africa, we're used to walking out of Checkers to put the shopping in the car so long when the car declines. That doesn't work in America. That's called shoplifting. There are people waiting for approval since before November. They're slowly moving out now. Many medicals aspire to be in contact again, asking that these won't change time. Exactly. Thank you for sharing that, Chris. Yeah, because every other camera was not working except the one where you were shopping. Also, it's wild how she's lying about the body cams literally recording. Yep, exactly. Yeah, she's lying about those body cams. Anyway, where are we at, folks? An hour and a half here. Missed those SNAP benefits and free food she was picking up at the food bank. Dodos showed more survival than this one. And dodos were clubbed to death on Mauritius by the Dutch. Whacked them over the head. They just stood around and got wiped out. They didn't even run from the Dutch. Do you get a reply if my May mail? Huh? Danica, did I respond to you? I don't recall. I don't recall. Yeah, you don't take the groceries out of shop before they're paid. That's shoplifting. That's theft. And when it's compiled up over time, it becomes grand larceny. And arguably, it could be considered a conspiracy to defraud Publix. That's a whole other charge, which they didn't even charge them with. Yep. But the perplexed look on their face, like when Pete was, oh, you're arresting me? You're arresting me? Remember that? That was classic. That was classic. Let me see if I can find that really quickly. Do I have it here? I had it here at one point. Where did I move that thing at? No, I can't find it. I can't find it. I had it before. I don't know where it's at. There it is.
If there's an entrance, to see if it's like a outside unit or inside.
Here's Pete's arrest. Wearing flip-flops, driving a Range Rover.
You're arresting me? Petrus?
Sorry?
Petrus?
Yeah.
Petrus? Okay. You go by Pete or?
Yeah, Pete.
Pete? Okay. I'm Detective Williamson. All right. Obviously, I'm with the Boca Raton Police Department. I'm investigating a crime that's been occurring.
Notice how he's being arrested by a black woman. Notice how polite, respectful he is to the black woman after all the horrible racist things he said about black people. Now, I will give Pete credit. He didn't resist. He wasn't obnoxious. He was polite to the law enforcement. That's probably because he was terrified like a little boy. Pete was like a little boy, terrified. But I will say that, that can be a terrifying experience, I would imagine, being arrested by the law enforcement, particularly when we're not expecting it. Oh my goodness. So he's being arrested by a black woman. This is too priceless.
Since August of last year. So that's what you're being arrested for. It's for retail theft. All right. So what's going to happen is we're going to take you back to our
Since August of last year, this is March 10th. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 9 months. It wasn't 6 months, 9 months that this was going on. Sally asked if I may send you an email. Yeah, anyone can send me an email. That's fine. Send an email. Just don't call me without contacting me.
Quarters, and we're gonna sit there. We're gonna have a conversation. All right, and then you'll be transported to Palm Beach County Jail. Okay. Who's the car registered to?
Either me or my wife.
You or your wife? Okay. Where's your wife?
She's at the apartment.
Okay. Which apartment? So that way.
You're gonna play with her nails.
Yeah. You're positive.
Positive, yeah.
Okay. So if we knock on the door, she'll answer the door?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No worries. All right,
Okay,
so,
I honestly don't think that the Boca Raton police even know who these clowns were. I don't think they sent a black officer on purpose. They just sent the officer who was on duty, or a detective was on duty.
like I said, we're gonna take you back. You've been fully cooperative with us. I just
He
want to have
has.
a conversation with you, and then we'll go from there. Okay. I'm gonna see if we can get this picked up for you. If not, it's gonna be towed. Okay. All right.
We're just adjusting this, so it's not giving you a ton of pain otherwise.
Thank you.
23, I'm going on with those stuff.
Where do you want to go? To level 1?
Yeah.
Let's go to level 1.
Let's go to level.
Where did you park? Oh, you hit G?
In the parking lot, yeah. It seemed a little bit lower than one, so. Whoops.
Take an elevator ride.
Ay, 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 ay. Well, one of the mods can put the email address up there. That's fine. She can send, but why doesn't she send that to ORR and CC me or and put me on the 2 line? That's where the email should go. There's the email.
All right. Obviously, I know that I do have to give you just a quick search. I know.
So they didn't search her inside. Now, you guys said detective, but that woman's wearing a police uniform. She's a police officer.
And I'm just for. Go ahead, have a seat.
Cops are very professional. She's also wearing flip-flops. What's with these people? Can't they wear shoes?
It's just a quick drive back to the community. About 7-10 minutes, not even.
Yeah, arrogance is unbelievable. So, yeah, over a 9-month period. I thought it was 6 months. It's actually 9 months. I got that wrong. Yep. Anyway, yeah, so you can send an email, but if you're sending a complaint, don't send it to me. Send it to ORR and follow the instructions I laid out on the 14th of April video when I explained how to do this, and then put me on the 2 line, that email address, because ORR can solve your problem. But you didn't put me in the line, did you? Or did you? Or maybe I'm misunderstanding here. So, what is it? Let me go back. Refugee agency complaint. Okay. Okay. I mean, gosh bless it. I've got stuff from June 7th, but it's not from anyone named Candy. It's from someone else I know. Someone that told me they're doing very well in America. The next thing I knew, they'd filed a complaint. Got one on June 10th. Urgent complaint. Yeah, none of these match that title. So, anyway, I'll look at it. But, I mean, anyway. You need to, if you're using a username here, and then you have a real name, you need to put the username in the subject line so I know who it's coming from, okay? Well, I agree, Garrett. They shouldn't have nails like that. That's inappropriate. But they also, shouldn't be wearing earrings, male or female. Yep. I don't think it's illegal. It's just dumb. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here, even though we got a few hundred people here still watching. Thanks. Be sure to hit the like button. Tomorrow I fly, so if I do a program, it'll be earlier in the day. I'll do a news program in the morning, possibly. No promises, because I fly around lunchtime, so I have to leave here in the morning when I normally am preparing to do a broadcast. I might do something from the airport. So I'm flying to Atlanta tomorrow, assuming the flight doesn't get canceled or delayed. And we have a meet and greet tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. in Decatur, Georgia. Okay? All right, catch you guys later. Cool beans. Thanks. Hit the like button if you don't mind.